You got to read Robert Greene, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
I'm
I'm gonna check
surprised
his
you
works
haven't
out.
already. Mastery is a
Yeah,
good one. You like that. Takes
yeah.
10,000 hours of practice to fucking be a master at something.
I've
10,000
heard
hours.
of that. I've heard of that whole thing. I've heard of arguments for it. I've heard of arguments trying to debunk that. I've heard all sorts of stuff. But I've heard that. I've heard the 10,000 hours thing my whole life. So I've as a guitar player, I've definitely done way past that.
What
But
is 10,000 hours?
10,000 hours really isn't that long, believe it or not, when you think about it.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know. It doesn't sound like it. Hold on. Let me see what if I can.
yeah, because I think we have about 168 hours a week, right?
It's 400 days, 416 days.
Yeah, yeah. If you think
But
about it, that's not that. Yeah,
well, I don't know because yeah, it's not that long, right? It's not that long, but you're doing for 416 days straight when you're doing nothing else and you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're not
hmm
shitting, you're not fucking bathing, you're not doing anything else but whatever that
right,
thing is.
right, right.
To do anything straight for 416 days without fucking taking a
Yeah,
shit
hmm
is a long fucking time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The let me put it to you this way. Um, um, let's just take what I did as far as practicing guitar when I was a teenager. Those 416 days were probably, I would say, easily okay. And I'm being really modest here when I say that it was probably about 8 hours a day. So just the sheer numbers, those it's 416 days. Multiply that by three, so it's maybe about 4 years. In about 4 years, I became that sort of, according to this, I became that expert that is that is in that mastery book. Um, and it's really far less than that because from like 16 to 18, which was a year and a half, I was already auditioning in a university to be a music major. So I was already thinking I was good enough to do that. Now, part of that was like my own naivete because I was probably too stupid to know any better. But I definitely impressed some people. So when you think about it, if you think about that just alone, it's less. It's actually even less than 10,000 hours. To put yourself out there. Now, maybe you're not a so-called expert, but you're on your way. You're probably better than 95% of the people that are out there. Because you're so passionate about it and you're trying so hard, and this is like you already know that this is your life's goal. So you're already past most of the people that are ever going to try it. And then you're
Let's
in this pool of like
It's
people who
true.
are doing their thing, and you're competing with them.
Let's say, okay, look, there's 24 hours in a day, right? You take out
Yeah,
8 hours for sleep. Let's look at it as from a normal perspective. 24
right.
hours a day. You take out
Yeah,
8 hours for sleep, so you got 16 hours left, right?
yeah,
Give yourself a hour breakfast break and an hour lunch break and an hour dinner break, right?
right.
So you take 3 hours out,
Yeah.
13 hours, okay, and then take out one more hour just for if you have to go to the post office that day.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah,
You know, 12 hours, so half the day. You have
yeah,
12 hours, so a full half the day because I mean you're sleeping for 8 hours of that, and then the other part you're eating and shitting, showering, that kind of thing. Maybe you're lucky you get your dick played with a little bit. You know,
You need
so
time
in
for that
12
just to
hours,
clear your head, right?
exactly. So if reasonably you can still get a night's sleep and feed yourself and fucking function properly and maybe a little exercise and maybe a little hanky panky, um, and you could have 12 hours to work on something, right?
Right,
It would be, I mean, double the 416. It'd be 833 days,
right,
which is 2.25 years, 2.28 years. So two and a quarter
right,
years. Okay.
right.
So it's 24, 27 months.
Yeah,
Okay. If you did nothing but sleep and eat and shit and do this thing every single day for 27 months, for 2 years and 3 months, and you weren't good at it, you fucking suck.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, like
Exactly.
you suck at life. Like what are you
Right.
doing?
Right.
If you
Right.
got to
Right.
do
Right.
nothing but that
Yeah.
consistently, like that's what you did all the fucking time.
Yeah. 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 Think about this. You know, all these little prodigies. You know, a lot of what I talk about is going to go back to music because that's what I know. But like all of these little prodigies of like piano playing, like I'm sure you've seen them. You've seen them on YouTube, right? You know, these the parents will stick their 4 or 5 year old and make them practice. You know, of course, some of it has to be their own passion, but they're sitting there practicing for that amount of time, and that's all they do, and they have the time to do it, and
Well,
they're
you have to be passionate, because if you're not passionate, you'll never be good at anything
yeah,
if you're not passionate about it, because you
yeah,
won't
yeah.
take the time to do it, and you need to
Won't take this right, right. You know, practicing won't necessarily give you the passion, but passion will give you will give you the
Yeah,
practicing. It'll give you the
100%.
fuel. It will give you the fuel to do the practicing.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Without
yeah,
that, you're not going to do any of the work, and all of it is work, no matter what anybody.
yeah.
Because again, it's climbing a hierarchy. If you always think about things about climbing, like climbing a hill, right? And you want to be on the top of the hill. Well, there's people ahead of you on the top. Oh, you know what I mean? And if you want to
Right,
get ahead of them in the hill, you got to walk a little faster. You got to work a little harder. You got to push them down a little bit. Trip somebody.
right,
But if you want to get to the top of the hill, only so many people can get up to that top of the hill. So you have to be able to perform better than everybody else to be able to do it.
right. Yeah,
And you're not
exactly.
going to ever get there by not, but in order to get to those levels, you have to be passionate about whatever it is, because it is hard work. There's nothing that's easy.
Right, right.
But what I like, I'm listening to Peterson all the time, right? He like T-shirts and everything else. It's crazy. I gotta get some of these things. I'll actually wear them during the show.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He's great. He's great. But he put out this cake, and I actually had my wife play this for my wife yesterday. I'm listening to him do the biblical thing now, right? The biblical series that he did on what the Bible is, and that's just basically it's a psychological map how to navigate the world, right? And in his new book, though, he has a book in there, basically that says, if kids are skateboarding, leave them alone. Don't stop kids from skateboarding. And what he's saying is, like, we have a natural tendency to worry about our kids not wanting to split their head open. But you have to let them practice doing things where they might split their head open, because life is gonna split their head open. So they have to fucking, it's what life is what they're doing when they're doing that, something that can kill them, is that they're pushing against danger. You know what I mean? They're pushing their limits against danger. And life is danger. You're surrounded by danger every moment, and you have to push against it. You have to fight against whatever that is, and so
that'll ensure your survival. Yeah.
Right. And so once you start getting your mind into that mindset that no matter what everybody could be kumbaya and nice and whatever they want, but it literally is you against the world. It doesn't mean you have to be against other people. It doesn't mean you have to be in competition. It doesn't mean you have to be combative with people. But it is you against life. It's you against the world. I mean, that's what life is. Life is you're getting your ass kicked. You're going to hurt. But you need to hold it right back.